You can always reach the show to complain at any point about something that we are doing. You do so often. It's what the internet is for. We appreciate constructive criticism. We appreciate the content that can be created just from criticism. So someone writes in, for what it's worth, in my opinion, today's show was the first time I felt the show's content was weak. There were no bits, and there was a lot of negative energy.
Nailed it.
What happened, Whittingham?
Jess was talking to me about hubba hubba this and hubba hubba that, and I didn't get to the sound. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's quite all right.
Play the sound again.
No, that's fine.
Dan, he is going to sit with this for the rest of the day.
I want to deconstruct for the audience what happened. What happened with the hubba hubba, because I still don't think of it as a sensual thing.
Well, Jess has announced that she's bringing it back, Jack. She said she's going to start using hubba hubba for things, and then that led to this and that, and then Whitty was, just blaming others.
Whitty said you should talk about Lewis Hamilton and say hubba hubba, to which I said I would never objectify another athlete, Whitty. That's really inappropriate. Yeah, and then you gave him the cue, but he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Let's try it again.
But you have objectified Lewis Hamilton.
No, that's not true. He's a great motorsport racer, Dan. Hubba hubba.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play for the audience some sound here. Basketball sound, Stugotz, because I do have to get to something with Stugotz because he has made an announcement. He came in here today with the announcement, Dan, now keep in mind, I've worked with him for a long time, and he's never had what he's got today. He comes in and he says, Dan, and he's dead serious. This is how we start our workday.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17 years working together.
Uh-huh.
He comes in, Dan, you heard it here first.
I mean, I said it a couple of weeks ago and you didn't hear it, and so I just had to remind you. So you heard it here first.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay, no, I want to get to it right now.
Okay.
But I also want to get to, it's not the only thing I want to get to. I also want to get to, quiet as it's kept. How does this happen? I'm not totally sure. Shouldn't we all be terrified that the Warriors are just going to run away with it?
Yes.
That lineup, holy hell.
Yep, they're good.
When they put Curry, Thompson, Poole, Wiggins, and Draymond out there, poor Nikola Jokic. That dude was getting the runaround. That lineup in 11 minutes is plus 29. That would be like if a team won every quarter by 30 points.
Terrifying.
It's insane. They are so they spread everyone out. Curry wasn't even that good. Airballed an end of quarter shot.
He's coming off the bench.
I know, but Jordan Poole is amazing.
Yeah.
The Warriors couple of years where they were terrible was so that they could have Jordan Poole at the end of it.
And they turned Andrew Wiggins into a great player.
Great.
I mean, he fits.
He's good.
Great enough. Look,
Stugotz.
You say great player, but I will remind you what was required of Harrison Barnes before the injuries, when the three of these dudes put together what I was telling you was the best basketball team I'd ever seen. The one that won 72 games was these three.
Right.
Was Draymond, was Steph, and Clay, and just these three. And so I am sure that Poole is made better by that. And I am sure that a lot of fifth players would look like Wiggins, but it does still mean that they're fifth if in the new age of the game where everything is lightning bolts and run around, and even Jokic could be made the MVP, like a clearly dominant player.
Yep.
An unprecedented player can be made to look like a fool because these pterodactyls, their fifth best one is Wiggins.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, Dan. If your fifth best player is Andrew Wiggins, oh my God, you have such a good team. And they have such a good team if they stay healthy. That's always the problem for them.
I was blown away by a very small detail of the game because Stan was on the commentary the other night, and they're having a conversation about who would take a technical free throw. And you would think that Steph Curry would be the runaway winner of that. Until you look at the numbers and realize that Jordan Poole is a better free throw shooter than Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson is a better free throw shooter than Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the third best option to take a free throw on his own team.
That's incredible.
And I was just like, what are you doing? And Stan was like, you cannot be trailing against these guys late. You've got no chance. No chance.
Giannis is also a number 2.
Well, not all these takes are winners, but Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole, by the numbers, is a better free throw shooter than Steph Curry.
But if you're the coach of the Golden State Warriors and you have a tech, you're choosing Steph Curry.
Right, which is what happened. And then Steph Curry duly missed the free throw. And so Stan was like, Jordan Poole, he's standing right there. But Jordan Poole would never put himself forward to shoot a technical free throw ahead of Steph Curry.
Stugotz, I laughed during the broadcast of the Hawks and Heat game because, and it made me think of you because I believe it was a sideline reporter who was reporting that Nate McMillan had given his Hawks, in order to regroup from the trouncing in game 1, a do what you need to do day.
In Miami?
I love those days.
Terrible idea.
The worst idea ever.
In Miami? There's a 7:00 tip-off.
You don't let 20-year-old men just roam around Miami figuring out.
I don't understand.
Dan, when are we going to have one of those? I'd love to have a do what you need to do day.
Yes.
What is a do what you need to do day?
Get your head straight, man. Do what you need to do.
No, that's a get your head straight day.
No. But what if you decide, hey, today, this is what I need to do. I'm going to get my head straight.
Well, you can combine the days, I think.
Okay.
But they're different days.
I think that I'm going to end up neutering what is Stugotz's. You heard it here first.
With what?
No, let him do it.
No, I think it gets neutered by the fear of the Warriors. I did this in the wrong order. I have my regrets because the heard it here first gets minimized by what it is that we were just saying, because Stugotz is here to tell you. He's saying that this is the first place that you will hear it, the following.
I mean, you heard it 2 weeks ago during Weekend Observations where I said you heard it here first. The Phoenix Suns are not making it to the NBA Finals. They lose Game 2 last night, 125-114. More importantly, the curse of Chris Paul kicks in because Devin Booker gets hurt in the second half of that game. He pulled a hammy. Danny missed the second half of that game. And now we are 1-1 headed back to New Orleans. I am telling you, it's a combination of Chris Paul was just not meant to win an NBA title. I'm sorry. Whatever team he's on, they are cursed. And the Golden State Warriors, if they are healthy, are just a better team. You heard it here first. How about that? Suns not making it to the NBA Finals. Not making it. In fact, I'm not even certain they're making it to the Western Conference Finals. How about that?
Wow, you just upgraded the take right
I did.
As you were having it because you I guess.
It's a do what you got to do day for me, Dan, and this is what I had to do. I had to announce that the Suns, I had to take it one step further than I needed to take it. That's what I had to do today. And now I am saying the Suns, with the Devin Booker injury, they might not make it out of the first round. How about that? I mean, now I'm taking it 3 steps too far.
Why have you accelerated the tape?
It feels good. I'm feeling good today.
I don't understand what just happened where you...
420.
I guess, okay, 420.
The trees. I mean,
all right, 420.
Mad Dog. Oh, no, Wednesday, Danny.
420.
It's a great day.
The trees.
Ganja. You know what I'm talking about. The dog walkers, Dano. The Kush. That loud. That gas. That Zaza. Oh, it's going to be a day.
Yes.
Do what you got to do day.
All right. Happy 420 to everybody.
It's the same thing I do every day.
What is Nate McMillan doing? What kind of coaching is that?
You agree with me on the Suns, though, right? I mean, you have to at this point, correct?
I don't know. I'd like to first marvel at the idea that the Warriors snuck up on us. I'd
We
like,
forgot about him.
But the stupidity of that is you've been reminding us, hey, remember the Bucks? Remember the Bucks? They won it last year. Anybody want to talk about them? No. Harden, Simmons, Nets, Heat. What about the guys who won it? No.
That's the way you have to do it, by the way, from a distance. Good job out of you.
But as Durant and Kyrie brawl with all of Boston, the Warriors are over here. We farted out Durant. And remember what we were right before that? That didn't have Poole and Wiggins. That had Harrison Barnes and Bogut was running around out there.
Iguodala.
Kevon Looney.
Iguodala's still out there.
Yes, he is.
We forgot about Golden State because there were a lot of what ifs about them heading into the postseason.
Yeah,
and they've all come in for them.
Well, but Clay hadn't played for 18 months.
But that's a big deal, and
Yes.
I like their record suffered as a result of it. But credit to Steve Kerr, it's like Clay, keep going. It's not working, but keep going. But it was also the injuries.
Draymond was hurt.
Draymond was
Steph
out
missed
for a
the
long
last
time.
10 games of the season.
Right, and
Yeah.
you don't know if you're getting those guys at full strength.
Right.
And I was reading some Defensive Player in the Year articles yesterday after our Marcus Smart conversation, and Zach Lowe was like, Draymond Green is still far and away the best defensive player in the league. And so without him, they don't look the same. But when he's in that lineup, they can defend Denver. They can defend, like, he had 6'7". Shaq and Charles Barkley at halftime are like, you cannot let Draymond Green defend you if you're Nikola Jokic. It's like, Draymond Green does this to everybody. He's amazing.
It is funny watching those games, and you referenced it earlier, where Jokic is just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He doesn't know where to go. The ball's moving so fast.
Well, that's on one end, and man, the sport has changed in front of our eyes in the last 10 years, and this thing was at the center of that change as shooting became better than you've ever seen it, and the sport realized, oh, threes. This is the first team I've ever seen, Stugotz. I told you this. First time I ever saw the 3-on-1 break where both guys fanned out to the corners. They had no interest in the layup.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'd ever seen that, where it's like, no, we're just going to do it threes, because we're going to shoot a lot better than any was ever shot. That team would sneak up on us when it won 72 games with these three guys, and you could talk about what it is to be the MVP chasing them around on defense, because Jokic, yes, gets spun around there. Because of because look at what's on the court for Golden State and how it moves, and Jokic can be unprecedented and still not be able to keep up with how the sport changes. And it's crazy to see, but now do it on the other end, Stugotz, and this thing as Marcus Smart is Defensive Player of the Year, because we still don't know how to accurately measure what does a defensive guy do, and Shaq and Barkley are on television knowing no better either,
right?
Because they don't know how to evidently measure defense. Mm-hmm. You're watching someone on defense in Draymond Green who's not only like the next Barkley because he says stuff and is looking for a career in broadcasting, but what he does is Rodman-esque in how specifically skilled he is at it. Like
he's such a good player,
you're watching
man.
Someone defend unlike any defender you have ever seen.
It's not just that. His defense is great. You're right. He's probably the best defensive player in the NBA. He's just so smart. The way he passes the ball. They don't have a ton of rebounding. He gets the boards. He does the little things for that team. But there was a play where Steph threw it to him. He was wide open for a three. He didn't take the three because he saw Steph going back to the three-point line from where he was, and he just led Steph perfectly, and it was somewhat contested, but he thought to himself, me wide open, not nearly as good as Steph slightly contested.
Oh, but
got the ball back to Steph, and he drained it. He's such a smart player.
They've been playing that, but Draymond, they needed 30 points from him in a Game 7 where when they lost to LeBron, Draymond was the only one who showed up because they kept letting him shoot. I'm talking about the unappreciated end of things. Draymond Green is going to be known more for his mouth than his defense, and that's a shame because it has nothing to do with how great his mouth is. It has a lot to do with people not understanding that you are watching something that you haven't really seen before. That Draymond Green there would be chunks of Bill Russell in his stool when you talk about best at defense I've ever seen.
I think he'll be I'm not saying you're wrong, but I also think people will look back, especially if they tack on another title or two, and I think they will. They'll look back at Draymond Green. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, Dan. Like, if he has 4 or 5 championships, couple defensive player of the years with those stats, everyone makes it to the Hall of Fame.
You got to make a decision here, because you can't have all the takes where Giannis is winning all the championships and Draymond is winning all the championships. Who's winning the championships? Who's your top 5 list of players who most need a championship? How are the championships being sorted according to Stugotz on
Or
this?
just like give me like a distribution of who gets the championships for the next 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, like three for Giannis, maybe a couple for the Warriors.
I feel like Giannis will tack on at least 1 or 2 more. I think Steph and Draymond will tack on 1 or 2 more. I think Jason Tatum's going to tack on at least 1. At least 1. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, none. Ja Morant, he's going to win at least 1. Are we talking over the next 10 years?
Yeah.
At least 1 for Ja Morant. Kevin Durant hasn't won 1, will never win 1. Kyrie Irving hasn't won 1, will never win 1. What are you talking about?
Hasn't won 1? What do you mean?
Kyrie?
What do you mean?
All right, Kyrie's team, unless LeBron James is playing alongside Kyrie Irving, he never wins a championship. That's it.
You've taken away the championship that Kyrie has in
because Kyrie's not in that game or in the NBA Finals if LeBron doesn't come back to Cleveland and bails him out. I mean, that's...
When did you announce that this was not...
I'm announcing it now. I mean, I feel like I've announced it before, but I'm announcing it now. It's a do what you got to do day, Dan. And I'm doing what I got to do. And I'm taking that ring away from Kyrie Irving. He's not in that position to hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history if LeBron doesn't put him there.
You can't even say it without laughing.
I tried.
You can't.
But you agree with me. You have to agree. Those
what do
teams,
I have to agree
he's
with
right.
you on?
The Cavalier teams were so bad with Kyrie as their number 1 until LeBron came back. And the second he comes back, Kyrie's hitting big shots in the NBA Finals. Get out of here.
Some would say he owes his whole career to LeBron because he's not even in Cleveland to win that championship if LeBron doesn't leave.
Bingo. You agree?
Are people still using bingo as something they exclaim? Put it on the poll, Guillermo. What gets said more by you, bingo or hubba hubba? Again, I don't understand the sensuality in hubba hubba. I know that you guys were trying to explain this to me earlier with the way that you were saying it, but any word said, like if I said bubba, I could be sensual
Dan.
too.
No, it doesn't work. Bubba.
We need to bleep that out.
I do have my top 5 players who need to win an NBA title. If you would like
do
them.
you?
Yeah,
You do?
I found the list. I
Okay.
didn't. I was checking the wrong pocket.
All right, so you've got the top 5 list of players this year who need to win an NBA championship.
They need to win an NBA championship for various reasons.
Do any of you in the audience feel bad for Jokic?
No.
I do, because with his 2 best guys, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, that might be a better series. I still don't know how they defend, but it would be a better series. And he is getting dinged. Oh, like if he wins the MVP, it's going to be, well, he went out in the first round. Maybe they get swept by the Warriors, and it's, oh, Jokic this and Jokic that. But like, they're in a position to be in this at this point because of Jokic. Every single night being one of the best statistical players in the history of basketball. And now he's getting the runaround from Andrew Wiggins.
I know. It must
But
suck.
he has no pressure on him to win a title because he is out there by himself.
Okay,
he
no
is.
pressure according
But,
to
but is
Stugotz.
he in your allocation of
Number
title
4?
winners?
No, he's
No,
saying
they're
number 5.
not winning a title.
So
No,
look, okay,
no.
they're not winning a title, and he has no pressure to win a title. I thought he would be in this top 5 list.
Zero pressure.
All
for
right,
him. He's
number
good.
5.
Number 5 is Donovan Mitchell. I am tired of the 50-win seasons. I am tired of the 30-point games in the playoffs. I am tired of it. Do me a favor. Play some defense and win a title. I'm tired of it. Utah every year, 50 wins. 4 seed, 3 seed, 5 seed. Donovan Mitchell, the Knicks are coming to get you. Okay? And you're not going to win a title there, so you better win one here. Go win a title.
Okay, he points a sausage finger, go win a title with a structurally flawed team that this time of year Gobert is going to get run off the court by a series of Warriors or Suns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for the day that the Knicks acquire Donovan Mitchell and he tells us they're going to win the title.
Soon.
Yeah, well, that's what he is rooting for. Number 4.
Devin Booker.
He just got hurt. hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry. This won't be his year. Listen, do me a favor. I'm tired of the 60-win seasons, the all-star games, the three-point shooting, the good looks. I'm tired of all of it.
You're tired of it?
If Devin Booker wants to be in the conversation, the big boy conversation, Dan, he wants a seat at the adult table, okay? You know what you need to do? You need to be the number one guy on a team that wins an NBA championship. You know what he hasn't done? That.
Okay, he waved his fingers at me.
I'm tired of it.
Has he done it?
Right.
No.
They won 60 games for the first time this year.
Oh, whatever.
They won 51 games last year.
It's
I'm
just
tired
enough
of it.
with him. Yeah, dapping up the baby, Kardashian. Like, let's win games.
Win something.
Not a single person on the planet thought they would get to the finals last year.
What are we doing with our expectations?
What do you mean?
That the Suns, like, it's just about whether Booker or Paul will fail. Like, and look at.
They could feel free to succeed.
Look at the labyrinth that you have them climbing through. Like when you just do your
They're
tier,
the one seed.
but you do your tier of championships. I know they're the
Right.
one seed, but it's hard to win the championship.
They lost
is my
one
point.
game. Like that's the amazing thing is that we'd have no perspective. And look, I said in the local hour that
Right.
the Hawks are done. Like they're gonna have a moment at home at some point where they look like they can get back into the series. But the Suns lost a game. One game.
Right. They'll lose more.
One of their best players got hurt.
But at home, this was the stunning part.
To
of
an
it.
8 seed.
They lost at home.
Yeah.
And
I will say, when I saw the box score this morning, I was stunned.
Were
I
you?
was, yeah, no, I thought
You didn't
Phoenix,
stay up for it, huh?
I thought Phoenix would win every game by 25.
but you can't stay up for some of these late games. It's
That's
hard.
tough,
You guys
man.
aren't making it.
The series just started right now, by the way. Pelicans won on Suns home court. Like,
Yep.
series is on.
Congratulations to them. Yes. I mean, we're still
Tony,
waiting around for the Heat and the
you
Hawks.
speak the love language of Stugotz. Yes, the series has now begun.
Right. And it's over. How about that at the same time? I mean,
And it's over.
they lost Devin Booker. I mean, it's a wrap.
Can you explain this to me? Because I've never viewed sports this way. You have proclaimed that the Suns are now cursed by Chris Paul because Devin Booker got hurt.
Everywhere he goes, something happens, Dan.
All right. But this seems to me fundamentally to be the wrong way to appreciate greatness in sports. Chris Paul, okay, you say he's not the best point guard, win something, whatever. He's one of the best point guards, a very skilled player.
Dan, the problem is it's not Chris Paul in his defense. It isn't. It's all the people who have told me throughout the years at ESPN that Chris Paul is one of the 5 greatest point guards ever. He's not. That's all the great point guards win titles. They do. He hasn't. Steph Curry, he's won titles. Okay. Magic Johnson, he won titles. Oscar Robertson, he won a single title, but at least he won one. Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, he won back-to-back championships. All the great point guards, they win titles.
It's an appreciated part of sports where your hate for athletes often is more your hate for the people that like those athletes more so than the actual person.
Right.
Yeah. No one thinks
that's a
about
real
that.
thing.
Yeah.
It's not even hate for athlete. I would just say hate in general. Like that, most of the sports hate I feel is as a result of people I know that like those teams. Like the University of Florida,
Miami
for
Hurricanes.
me, there will never be a team for me that tops the University of Florida in terms of hatred.
Really?
Just because of a few University of Florida fans that I knew in high school. Despise
Albert
the
and
University of
Alberta.
Florida.
Mr. Two-Bit. None of that?
The worst.
That
the
strikes me.
worst.
Have you ever been to a game in the swamp?
No, I have not.
Oh, you would love it. There's a guy that runs out in a suit. I think his name's Mr. Two-Bit, and he starts these chants from like the 1920s.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1.
Yeah,
no.
it seems like
No.
that does not seem like something
what?
Witty would be in on.
Now, the swamp
That
is
of all
But
things.
Billy's right. The swamp is a great place to go watch a game. It is fantastic. Yeah, fantastic environment. It is.
Most great college football towns are. Nobody would dispute that about the University of Florida or Florida State. These are fun places that have a lot of spirit in them. It's
College
also,
games are more fun than professional games,
No doubt.
right? Because
Yes.
people care, not like half care, like in professional games.
Yeah, no. Most professional sports atmospheres suck. Wow. Like it's all game ops based. It's all like I watch a lot of NBA games and it's just like so everyone just does. Let's go Mavs. Let's go Mavs. Let's go Mavs. Like it's all we got. Like at least at college sports, like there is a variety of songs that are sung. Like I want to go to a University of Wisconsin game and jump around. You know what I mean? Like there's so many.
I want to go to a Penn State game.
Around at the Heat games.
But it's crappy.
It's different. It's different.
It's crappy.
The bounce
Too many
house at
kids
UCF.
there. It's not the same.
Right.
I want to go to Virginia Tech and get going with the
Sandman.
fans.
Oh,
They
wait,
do
that's
Enter
USC.
Sandman.
Wait.
I could
That's
watch
Penn State, Ohio State.
I could watch an Enter Sandman YouTube video
Wow.
of them like
It's the best.
going
Yeah.
against Ohio State on that Labor Day weekend game. I could watch that for days.
I love YouTube videos of fans all doing the same thing. I feel like you could drop us off. Like Woody seems to be on the same page as me. You could drop me off at any like college major sporting event, and I would be a fan of that team for the day.
I would
Easily.
100% do that.
Yeah.
I would be a chameleon.
You gotta blend
and
in,
just
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I would be
Right.
an Auburn
Oh,
fan.
I'd be
for a
leading the
day.
chance.
And
yeah.
if you're in the
yeah.
stands and people are like, yeah, class of
Big-
92.
Oh yeah, no.
yeah.
The big play comes out. You get the keys and you start waving the keys. These are scissors because I couldn't find my keys real quick. But yeah, oh there you go. You do the thing. It's key play. You do one of these things.
Oh,
yeah.
we go to Mississippi State and do the cowbell.
The
thing?
cowbell.
Cowbells.
Yeah.
We had the
Oh,
cowbell in
Clanga,
Sacramento.
clanga.
Oh, wow.
You guys think that pro football teams or pro sports teams should have marching bands? Would that help?
No, they just need a culture, need something about them, and they also need the arenas and the stadiums to stop playing sounds during play, because you are neutering the attempts of the fans to create atmosphere themselves. Now I know the Knicks tried this once, and Draymond Green hated it. However, like if all you're doing is just giving cues for your fans to go defense. Like there's no originality will be born from that.
this
It's
is-
the same
I have-
boring shit in every
Okay.
arena.
I love the sign though, the D dash with a fence. It's great. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, you're conflating NBA games with NFL games though. Like I've been to some very exciting atmosphere NFL games. It's not every fan base though. It's not every stadium.
The NFL
Yes,
is pretty
you ever-
dreary as well.
I disagree.
For most of the game, now I will say like a close late game in the NBA, like the way that the Boston fans were, like that's awesome. But in terms of like creativity and ingenuity, it's the same sounds
Billy,
in
what are
every
you
arena.
laughing about, Billy?
You said dreary, and Tony turned me dreary. Is this a Mark Twain book?
Who's that?
I've got a couple of follow-up questions for Whittingham that I was disoriented by, and I wasn't sure what he was saying, and I just wanted to get my specifics right. You were doing jump around in Wisconsin, correct?
I've never been to Wisconsin, but I would like to go.
But I'm saying that jump
Yes,
around.
the jump around, yeah.
You are on the court. You are jumping around. You are
Yes.
shirtless. What are you doing? Are you wearing
I'm
a
not
suit?
shirtless.
What are you? Are you
I would
wearing a
say-
suit? What are you doing?
I would love for Whitty to one time
Wearing a
be the
suit.
D in Badgers in a group of shirtless
Yes.
guys with letters painted across their chest.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Did you say you'd be wearing a suit?
I would say
I
I'm
said
not.
that.
I would say I'm not kidding. I think I'm a great fan. What? I am a great sports
No
fan.
way.
I
You're
go
like
to an
third
arena.
best in this room.
I participate in every chant. When I went to U.S. Soccer, my voice hurt because I sang all of the songs for 90 minutes.
Right.
I'm not kidding. I went to England and I was a chameleon at every stadium. I sang every song. I annoyed my friends.
Did you have an
I'm telling
accent?
you. Yes, I did.
No,
I'm
that's so
telling you.
great.
You
I'm
sang
telling
with an
you.
accent.
I sang with an accent. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Try to do it
telling
now.
you. I am a great sports fan.
We need Whitty to go to a Wisconsin game. I don't know if they still do this at Wisconsin, but when I was like trying out colleges in high school, they did this. It was like in the third quarter, I think it was before jump around. The student section chanted at each other. One part of the student section chanted "eat shit," and the other section chanted back "fuck you." And it was such.
That's great.
You love. I feel like Whitty would be
Dueling
like,
cheers.
"Goodness
I love
me."
that. Yeah.
No, it was such a hullabaloo that the administration at Wisconsin were like, you can hear it on TV and we're gonna get fined for this. Like everyone needs to stop doing it. And they were like begging the students to stop doing it. And the students did it still. I don't know if they still do it, but it was really
Why didn't
funny.
you go there?
Wisconsin. It's like 20 degrees there in the summer. It was so cold. As soon as I visited, I think I visited September. First of all, 7 a.m. is the wake up call if you want to start tailgating for those 11 a.m. Big Ten games. I was like, I am not doing this.
But Notre Dame's not far from Wisconsin. I've been to Wisconsin. You're
No,
right.
Notre
It's a
Dame's-
different kind of cold.
It's
Right.
Notre Dame's also cold, but at least like I wanted to go to Notre Dame because my family went there, so
Eh.
it was a little bit more of an incentive than Wisconsin. Wisconsin, I woke up at 7 a.m. I drank like 6 of those Spotted Cow beers, and I was like, well.
I don't think you're talking about a different kind of cold. I think you're talking about sad cold or cold in a city you prefer.
Yeah,
I don't think
Madison is way cooler
Madison's
than South
great.
Bend. Madison's
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, but
Yes.
It's nothing like dreary cold, though. I've been in Iowa City in March, and that is woof.
Madison, Wisconsin is still one of the great party towns, right? It's one of the great
Yes.
party
It's awesome.
college
Yeah, I
schools.
love
No,
Madison.
but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about different kinds of cold that I believe, I'm alleging that you are making it. It depends on whether you are in the cold of some podunk Kansas
You're right,
town
yes.
or whether it's a town you'd actually want to be in because it's a great city.
You'll put up with the cold for Madison, but perhaps you wouldn't do it for Detroit, let's say.
Are we going to Madison as a show? Because it seems like we're big Wisconsin guys now for this season.
I have more follow-up questions for Witty, but I also have a follow-up question for Jessica because hullabaloo and hubba hubba, like if I say them differently, if I say one centrally and the other, like hullabaloo, nobody your age uses the word
No, that's true, but it is
hullabaloo.
on the staircase outside of our studio, which is why I had it on the brain. Dan, we had a little bit of a debate back here. I said, you can say almost anything sensually, and it will sound sexy. And they disagree. Tony and Billy disagreed with me, but I think like you could probably say just about anything if you say it in like a sexy, deep, raspy, slow voice. Like it'll probably sound kind of hot.
There's things you could say. Vomit in my butt.
Hubba hubba.
Number 3, Steph Curry. Stop living off the past. You won 1 title without Kevin Durant. You have this great team, Klay Thompson. You have Draymond Green. You have Jordan Poole. You have Andrew Wiggins. Everyone's healthy at the exact right time. Go on and win a second NBA title because the ones with Kevin Durant, although they count my personal record book, they're not as meaningful as the one you won without him. So now you need a second one to validate your career.
Number 2.
Joel Embiid. Enough of this guy. I'm tired of the 50-win seasons. I'm tired of him telling us how great he is. I'm tired of him getting rid of Ben Simmons because he thinks James Harden is better. Joel Embiid, I'm tired of you talking. I'm tired of people telling me how great you are. You want to know how you measure greatness? You measure it, with championship rings. That is something you have yet to do. You came close one year, but Kawhi's basket went in. It could have, fell out, but it didn't. It went in.
It did not.
And Kawhi validated his career because he won one with
That's
Toronto.
Right. Made that shot. You didn't make that shot.
And that's why Kawhi never needs to win another championship for the remainder of time.
He made that shot.
Exactly
and
right.
You didn't make that shot. It made you cry, that shot, Joel.
Go make a shot, win a title.
Joel was not on your list, correct, of guys who are going to have a title in the next 10 years, right? That labyrinth had Ja Morant on it, but not. You didn't mention Joel Embiid.
It had Ja. It had Jason Tatum.
You put
it had
Tatum
Giannis.
on there and not Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Yep.
And that's just you wanting to be right about Jason Tatum, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Billy, you know what else we get to do at the Wisconsin game?
What?
We get to sing "Build Me Up, Buttercup" with the crowd.
Really?
Oh, the whole stadium sings "Build Me Up, Buttercup."
Such a good
what a great
fan.
song to sing at a stadium.
That'll take you back to the
Oh,
50s. I mean,
best.
that. Wait a minute, though. That has to be some white guys. Like no, like you have to. You can't say. You can't. He's not wrong about the song.
I need you more than anyone else.
Do you know the words? Are those the words?
Yeah.
Do you guys, I don't want to be a party pooper, but do you guys ever worry about the structural integrity of stadiums when
Always.
things are getting too crazy?
Yep. The stadium at Wisconsin at Camp Randall, when they do jump around, like you can feel it
Don't
shaking.
like it.
It's crazy.
Don't like
That's
that.
part of the experience, though, Bill.
No, it's scary.
Don't like that.
No, the
one
orange
bit.
ball would make you nervous. Though.
Yeah,
the orange
no,
ball.
when someone,
Yeah.
I felt the stadium shaking. It's like, I'd rather my buildings be not moving,
Well,
please, while I'm in them.
the UCF stadium is called the Bounce House
I don't like
because
I don't like that.
it bounces up and down.
Has anybody been to a game there?
I've seen
No.
it.
So I've been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I went to UCF for a small
Bona
time,
fides.
and there was a time where we were jumping, and I felt like the give of like
bounces.
a trampoline.
Yeah.
Bounce
But
house.
it's like bleachers. It's like
Yeah, it's
metal.
bleachers, yeah.
It seems very easy, and it's outside. It rains. I'm sure it could rust. I mean, obviously engineers think about these things, but I don't want things to be moving around.
Right.
Do
Yeah.
they?
I don't know.
Do they like have an engineering model on their computers where they put like 100,000 fans and play jump around and test the structural integrity of their
people weigh
thing?
different
'Cause I
things.
doubt that.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. There's buildings in San Francisco that are like 100 stories tall, and they make
Yes, they sway in the wind. That's completely
No,
different,
for
Tony.
earthquakes.
I don't like that
Yes,
either.
They make them
Chicago
earthquake-
has the same thing.
Billy
New York
wants
has the same thing.
Billy, I'm
I
with
don't
you
like
on
that
this.
either.
I want no. One thing I want. One thing I'm not an absolutist about much. The building I'm in needs to not be moving.
Yeah. And bridges? Oh, get out of town. If I'm on a bridge and there's like two 18-wheelers around me sometimes, oh, no. I start seeing when they're going to go in that tunnel to go underneath on the Port of Miami, but they have to go over the bridge to get there. If I'm stuck in traffic on a bridge and there's like a bunch of trucks, I start taking inventory and then I'm trying to figure out like, if there's too much weight on this bridge, what do I do? No, I'm trying. Well, I don't want to just be the person that surrenders and dies. No, don't wipe your hands over there, Lewis. I'm not just gonna die and quit on living. But if you fall from a certain height into water, it's like falling on concrete. But if that water breaks and there's like little splashes, that's why sometimes I don't know if you ever saw MythBusters. They dropped a dummy from really high up, but they dropped a hammer first to break the fall a little bit. I don't remember the results, but I tell myself that what happened is if something breaks that water, you're good, and you
So
could
you
fall.
you throw
You
something
keep a
down.
hammer in your
So I keep a hammer in the
So
car
you
at
in the
all
glove
times in
compartment.
case, to
I
throw
got-
it down. 2 hammers actually. There's the
think I'm a
hammer.
murderer.
There's the hammer to break the water, and then there's the hammer to break the glass. It also has the flashlight that also breaks the seatbelt. And I recently added to my repertoire. Yeah, of course I have one of those. There's one of those in every car.
Can
You
you
don't
bring
have
it?
one of those?
No, I don't have one of those.
Are you an idiot? What do you mean? I'll go get it from the car in the
I
break.
put one of those in my car the other day
You have
because
to.
a woman on a ferry just drove off her car. You have to have,
no.
yeah, and it seems like a terrible way to die. You have to have something that gets you out of your car.
Exactly. I'm gonna get it in the next break.
bring it
Yeah,
during the
it's
break.
a
I
great
hate how
tool to
similar
have.
our brains are, Billy. I've thought
Well,
about all of
I've
this.
got-
It's called catastrophizing. It's what my therapist calls it.
You're
You just
worried
think
about
of the
that?
worst case thing.
Dan, you're worried about that happening to you? I mean,
No, I don't
ferry
want to
and-
ever be trapped in my car. I don't. That's just it.
Well, you have a
Live by a lot of
convertible.
water, yeah.
Underwater.
Hop out.
But regardless, you can make fun of me all you want. It'll be me laughing. I unfortunately I won't be able to. But if you somehow could, if your last words couldn't be spoken because you were trying to gurgle them out,
it's awful.
Dan, if you drown in a convertible, I mean,
That's on you.
that's on you.
Win a title.
win a
Window
title.
doesn't break.
Win a title is the last.
The last words I would say
God's sake.
if I were drowning.
I've got follow-up questions here, a number of them. One of them, I want to still get back to what Whittingham is saying when he says he's going to get it going to enter Sandman. Okay, he used the phrase get it going, so I want to get back to that. But not before I examine more of this with Billy, because if you have this many fears about, and understandably, I'm with you, bounce house sounds like great fun, but you and I are kind of repressed there. We don't want our buildings to move. But bounce house seems like sports joy. You're just jumping up and down on a trampoline with fans, enjoying yourself, not thinking about the structural integrity. But how does Billy experience, or what is the worst of the Billy experiences with like these Red Bull people who will dive off a cliff and then have their wings span out and will just sort of like
Flugtag. I wanted to do that. I submitted application for Flugtag 3 different times because Flugtag would come to Miami and it was never approved. I never got into the Red Bull Flugtag, but I wanted to do it where you build a flying machine and you jump off the side of a thing. Yeah, you design it, you submit it. Yeah, I submitted to Red Bull Flugtag. They sent me a rejection letter and a case of Red Bull. I still have it in a closet somewhere.
forgive me, you've misunderstood what I'm asking you
Yeah.
because I that is just sort of you make your own vehicle and you jump off a cliff into the water. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about these professional daredevil people who will just jump. They will like sort of cliff surf because they're just sort of wearing bodysuits that are kind of like
Like
kites.
the squirrel suits.
Like the squirrel suits. Like to me, that is to me that seems, even though I'm sure for these people it is very safe, that seems to me to be too daredevil for me to even imagine or contrive an imagination that would have me doing that. Do you experience those shows that way? or do you have like a greatest thing that you watch and you're like, I can't believe these people do this. Why would they do this given that I'm afraid of a bouncing house at University of Central Florida?
Afraid is, I don't know that I would label as I'm aware of potential catastrophes that might happen, and I just focus on those. Does that mean I'm afraid of them? I don't
Anxious,
know.
Billy. That's peak general anxiety disorder.
Really?
Take it from me.
The squirrel suits are crazy, though. Like, I don't know how people do that.
Hold on.
The squirrel suits are crazy, but you'd build a contraption and then jump off a building with it.
No, you jump off of like a pier or whatever, and then you jump into water. No, it's not 10 feet. It's like 45 to 50 feet. It's a substantial fall. Dan was a judge for one of those once, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I remember I saw they announced it. You were next to Audrina Patridge. I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yes, we judged a bunch of. You make your own vehicle and then you just see how long it can stay in the air. A flight machine.
They never do.
Never
long.
No, I saw an extraordinary one the other day where it's like it looked like it was going nowhere. The thing was going down, but then they broke apart and the thing on top went soaring into the sky. I was like, oh my God.
Billy, but I want to know more.
You have to be like an engineer to actually successfully do that one.
Exactly.
Well, but I want to know more. Had you thought of your next plan after you had been accepted, or did part of the nominating process have you building the vehicle? Because I would imagine the reason that you wanted to do this is because your vehicle would be extra funny. Like it wouldn't just be for the challenge of it, but because you would enjoy building an airplane that was, amusing, because all of these are themed. They're themed.
Yeah.
They're themed flights, right?
Well, thinking back, I don't remember what the theme was for my submission, but I will say that I didn't add like any actual dimensions or measurements. It was basically just I drew like freehand what I thought this might look like. And it didn't have a ton of stuff. Yeah, that's why they rejected me, but it was also in Miami, so I thought like, hey, you know what?
What?
I don't know. That's as far as I got in the thinking.
Can we think that out now? Because we could probably get the context with Red Bull that if this is something that you wanted to do now with your life, you'd be.
I'm gonna take a do what you need to do data plan out the next Flugtag. Yeah.